Hello everyone, you're all welcome back to my channel. A big thank you to all my subscribers. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this bubu kaftan with side ruche, puff sleeve and also placket. So this kaftan can be styled in 3 different ways, as you can see on the screen. So if this is something that you are interested in learning, keep watching and let's get started. So guys, to begin, we have our fabric here. We have 3 yards of this fabric. So I'm going to be showing you how to fold your fabric for this style. Go ahead and open up your fabric just the way I'm doing. And then fold it into 2 from top down. Just like this. Fold it into 2. And make sure your shoulder is on fold. Like the upside after folding should be on fold, not opened. Okay, there are different ways of achieving this style actually. You can do it the other way where the shoulder is also opened, but this is the method I'm using in this video. You can see our shoulder is on fold. After that, you're still going to fold from the side into the other side, folding it again into 2 just the way I did. We're folding for both the front and the back, so we are cutting the front and the back together. I placed my tape on my shoulder to the hem to measure the full length of my bubu kaftan, which is 54 inches. Okay, I have 54 inches here in length. And I'll also measure the sleeve length, which is, I'm using the entire fabric at that upside, which is around 23 inches. Okay, so everything I have around there is like 22.5, 23 inches. So I'm going to be using everything. And I'll go on to take my neck width, which is 3.5. And neck depth for the back is 1.5 inches. I'll go on and curve the line there. And I'll take the neck depth for the front, which is 3.5 inches. I'll rule my curve at that point. So I'll go over to my sleeve point at the shoulder and I'll come down by 19 inches. It depends on how puffy you want your sleeve to be. You can go as far as using 24, 25 inches, but I'm using 19 inches. At that 19 inches point, I'll come in by 5 inches. I'll roll my line. So at the end on the body, I have like around 18 inches for the body of the bubu kaftan is 18 inches. So this 18 inches, I'm going to maintain it all the way down to the hem. So I'll measure 18 inches all the way down and keep ruling my line down to the hem. So at the sleeve point, I'll go on and give it a curve. Okay, make sure you give it a curve that you don't need any sharp edges at that point. So curve that sharp edge. And we are basically done. So the next thing, I'll go ahead to cut it out. I'll start my cutting from the back. Okay, so I'm cutting the back neckline. And then I'll cut the body of my bubu kaftan. Just follow the line, follow the curve at the armhole. At that sleeve point there, I'm going to curve it. You see how I'm cutting it out. So after this, I'm going to cut the front neckline. I'll cut the front neckline. To do that, just go ahead and open up your fabric. Open it up the way you see me doing. And arrange it like this. Make sure the shoulders are aligning. Make sure it's aligning well. So you can see where we marked the front neckline there. I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is what we have after cutting the front. We have this piece for our plackets. I attach interfacing to this piece. It's 10 inches in length and the width is 6 inches. So go ahead and mark the middle line. I ironed it, which already made the middle line visible. From the middle line, I'm going to take 1/2 inch on both sides, okay? And then from the top, I came down by 6 inches. So 1/2 inch from at both sides of the middle line. You can see the interfacing. I added paper stay. So I'm going to be placing this piece for our placket on the bubu kaftan. Also, make sure you mark out the middle line of your bubu kaftan. I'm going to be placing the right face of this piece on the wrong face of the bubu kaftan. Right now is the wrong face of this fabric that is facing me for the bubu kaftan. Place it at least 1/2 inch above the neckline. Okay, make sure you're placing it at least 1/2 inch above the neckline. Go ahead and pin it down. Pinning it make it very easy. When sewing, is going to avoid it shifting. So now I also cut out my rope. This is what we're going to be using for the side ruche. It's 1.5 inches in width and in length is around 45 inches in length. I cut out 4 pieces of this. So I'll go over to my sewing machine and sew it just the way I'm showing you. I'm going to stitch it all the way down. I'll sew it down, folding it like this. Okay, so now for our placket, I'm going to be following the line I created, the line I marked out. I'm going to be following that line. I'm going to be sewing on that line. Just watch carefully how I'm going about it. So guys, at this point, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe, like, and also turn on your post notification bell so you're updated whenever I upload a new video. We have a lot of interesting videos coming up, so stay tuned and stay connected. So after sewing on this line, I'll go ahead and cut through the middle line. Okay, so just go on and cut through the middle point, the middle line. So when you get towards the end of that line, you go on and cut through to the sides. This is going to help your placket relax very well when turning it to the right face. You can see, just cut through. Be careful not to cut your stitch. And then turn it. I'm going to turn it to the right face of my bubu kaftan. Okay, so I'm going to turn it to the right face like this. Go ahead and give it a good press and fold in the sides by 1/2 inch. So at this point, I've ironed it and I also folded in the sides using 1/2 inch. So sorry guys for this point because I didn't realize my tripod was touching the sewing machine, so you can see a little effect of shaking there. So now after folding the sides, you go on and fold it inward. Okay, fold it in and stitch on the 1/2 inch folded edge. and I'm going to stop at that 6 inches mark where I notched. You sew it from the top, you fold it and sew on the top, and sew from the top, stopping at that 6 inches folded edge. So now this one on this side, I want it to overlap the other one. You can use any side you want. So I also folded it like this again. I folded it and I have the edge at this point. Okay, the folded edge at this point. So you can see that this side is overlapping the other part, covering the other part completely. Arrange it very well so that everything aligns properly. And I'm going to sew on that folded edge all the way down. I'll also stop at the 6 inches point where I notched. So now, if after stopping at that 6 inches point, if you're working with a bulky fabric, like a thick fabric, if the fabric you're working with is thick, go on and cut off the down part, okay, to make it less bulky. You can go on and cut off the down part to make it less bulky. But this fabric that I'm working with is not thick, so I won't be cutting off the down part. I need it to keep the fabric steady. So I'll continue with my sewing. So I'm going to sew all the way down while I fold in the edge. Okay, when I get to the edge, I'm going to fold that part neatly. I fold it. Okay, just fold it neatly inward. Arrange it properly to make sure everything is well hidden inside. Just take your time. You don't need to rush while working on your placket. Take your time, carefully work on it. You go on and keep stitching, aligning everything, making sure everything is neatly done. Okay, so keep stitching. So I'm going to sew all the way up, and I will stop at that 6 inches point where we notched initially. So I'm going to be stopping there. And yes, we have our placket ready. So this is what we have. This is how our placket is looking. This is how to go about creating your placket. So for my sleeve, I went ahead to fold in 1.5 inches for my elastic casing, to create my elastic casing. So I hooked my safety pin to the elastic. I'm going to be using it to pass through the elastic channel. So I'm going to go about it this way all the way around and bring it out at the other end. And I cut out about 13 inches of this elastic. I'm done passing it through, and this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and use 1 inch to sew it all the way down. After sewing it, this is how our elastic, our puff sleeve is looking, and I've also stitched it all the way down. I'll go ahead and measure my round neckline. whatever you have, take your fabric and create your bias. Okay, to create your bias, go on and fold your fabric diagonally. This is going to give your fabric some level of stretch. Okay, and I'm going to use 1.5 inches to cut out. On fold, I'm marking 1.5 inches. You can see how the fabric is stretching a bit because of the way I folded it. But if I have folded it straight, it won't give me that stretch. Okay, and remember, we are working on a neckline that is not straight, so you need to fold it diagonally so that you can get a neat finishing. It will be able to go round your neckline without giving you stress. Now I'm placing the right face of my bias on the wrong face of my bubu kaftan at the neckline. I left about half an inch. You can leave around 1 inch at the edge there before placing it. While placing it, leave some inches out. Then I use half an inch to fold round. I'm using my pin to hold it down. This is going to make your work a lot easier. So after stitching it, you go on and fold in the inches you left out, then you fold it again before sewing. Okay, I hope you can see clearly what I'm showing you. I'm done piping my neckline, and this is what we have. This is how it's looking. You can see how neat it turned out. So for the placket, I'm going to be using these pins to attach to my placket. I'm going to attach these pins to my placket. Okay, after this, we are going to be creating our side ruche. So to create the side ruche, I'm going to mark from the shoulder down. I'm using 19 inches. Okay, remember at our sleeve point, you give it a notch. Okay, at that point that we curved, give it a notch so that it can relax very well. So from that notched point, I'm going to be marking. I'm going to be sewing my channel, okay, for the ruche, for the ropes. So this is how I'm going about it. Put the rope in the 1 inch sewing allowance that you left, and then top stitch on it at that point, and you begin to sew it down. Make sure while you're sewing, you don't sew on the rope. Don't sew on the rope. Just make sure the rope is inside the casing that you are creating. Okay, sew it all the way down. Even at the hem, you fold in your hem. After folding your hem, make sure it's very close to the hem. Okay, so I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to be sewing it down. I'll do same thing for the other side. We are done creating our side ruche, and this is what we have. Okay, you can also use a black rope for this. It must not be the Ankara. Okay, like for me, I later changed it to a black bias, and that's because I'm going to be using a black trouser on this. The fabric was not enough for me to make a trouser, so I'll be using a black trouser on this bubu kaftan for the other styling. Thank you guys for watching to this point. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on your post notification bell so you're updated whenever I upload a new video. Also share our videos. Thank you. Do have a blessed and a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye.